Let's take a look at the donations page. So to access this page, you go to financials and then donations. Here you're going to notice three different tabs. The first one that we're going to talk about is manage donations. Manage donations is a tab that allows you to do a couple of different things. Number one, you'll notice here on the left hand side, if you want to take a look at donations or reports or any campaigns that you're creating, you can just click on any one of these and do that. We will review all these within their individual pages, but for now, just know that they're available. So from this page, for an example, you are logged in, and if you wanted to make a payment, for an example, or if you wanted to make a donation, you can enter an amount here, and then you can select an existing fund ID for your payment or for your donation. And if everything has been set up, you would be able to donate through a few of our existing partners. These are not all of them, but these are just some of them: Vanco, Stripe, or PayPal. So one of those things that you can do is to donate through any one of these if you're set up for it. A partner that we now have that's not on this list, but soon will be, is Purpose Giving or Purpose Financial. So these are just some of the things that you can do to help you donate. But again, it's not the only way that you can donate. So look down here at the bottom, and let's say you want to make a donation or you want to make a payment, but not necessarily through a credit card or through an existing partner. You click on Donate Offline there at the bottom, and you'll notice here it says up here offline donation payment. Here on the left hand side are all of the financial fund categories that you've created. Notice that you can just come here where it says profile user, click on a letter within a person's name, and then enter that person's information there, and you can start putting in the amounts that they've donated. And then if you want to, it's not required, you can put here for, Smith family, and this will show up on their payment report or on their donation report. So this is something that you can do that is very, very simple. Now, you'll notice as you're entering this information in down below, it's totaling the information here, or totaling the revenue that you're entering. It's $110. Now, here, this is called the transaction ID. This is an alphanumeric number that you can create, and it can be any number. You don't have to put in a transaction ID, but it's good to have one. That way you know for future references, and also you can run reports through your transaction ID. So my recommendation is, even if you haven't used them in the past, I would enter a transaction ID, because then you can query batches of financial data, and it's very, very helpful for your reports. If you need to change the date because this is a new donation or new payment period, you can come here and change the date, and then the next time you see the screen, the same date will be on there, and if you add another donation afterwards, the same date will be there as well. So that way you're not having to change it if the date remains the same. The payment mode could be cash, could be check, it could be an offline credit card, it could be other. What is an example of an offline credit card? Well, maybe someone sent you payment through another service provider. It could be PayPal, it could be Western Union, and then all of a sudden you need to record that as part of their payment, but you're not necessarily integrated with that software. So all you do is just enter offline credit card, and then you can enter the information. Again, you could always enter here in the notes section what vehicle they use, whether it's Western Union, PayPal, or somebody else. Then you click on submit, and this information will be saved in their profile. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Submit, and this information will be saved in this person's profile. So now when I go to financials and financial reports, for an example, I will be able to come down here and see all the information depending on the pay date that I selected. And again, I can sort all of this information as well for the individuals that made the donation. So this is very important because it gives you an overview of all the information that has been entered into the software. So let's go back to donations. We've looked at the offline donations, and by the way, once you do that, it'll show up here on the offline donation. Okay, that's very, very important. And then you can sort by transaction ID, you can sort by the date, and if you need to, obviously you don't want to give too many people access to this information, you can edit the donation. Here are the notes that come out every time you enter a donation or a payment, for an example. The notes will appear here. So let's go back here to the financial donations page. And then we have another partner that is called Purpose Giving. Purpose Giving is a preferred partner, and what they do is they give you the ability to retrieve a file, for an example, that is exported containing all your financial data. So if you're integrated with Purpose Giving or Purpose Financial, then you will be able to import the information as such. Now notice there are some things that come out in red. What that means is somebody made a donation on a fund ID that you don't currently have. So what you would do is you would basically exit out of here, create that fund ID, come back and import the file again. But if that does exist, or maybe it was a mistake, you would come here, click on, Misiones in this case, and then click on the fund ID that it needs to be. And you can do that for all of these. One by one, notice how the red starts to change. Now, for the transaction ID, if you want to select a unique transaction ID and apply it to everything, you click on the transaction ID, click on OK, and notice it's all applied here. If this is a transaction date, but you need that transaction date to be a different date because of the way you process information, then you change the date, click apply, and notice how everything changes. Okay, so once you correct all of these, you can come back, and no red is a good sign. Then you can just click here to finish importing the file. It'll take you to another screen so you can verify the information. Once you verify the amount, all the information, click here to finish importing the file. And that will import the file into your database. Now, when you come here to the third tab, View Details, then you can see by last date of import, here's our transaction ID, and here's the information that was imported. And then you can go through, and again, if you need to edit something, you can, but you have all of the information there. So this screen here is very, very powerful. Now, if you use another type of payment processing company or partner, that is fine with us. All you have to do is click here and download the Excel template. That will give you the template to basically import historical data. Now, once you download the template, I'm going to click here and open it for just a minute. All you have to do is make sure you copy and paste your financial data in the same way that we have it here in the Excel file. Now, once you do that, and you can see me and my family there, once you do that, then you're going to be able to see all of the information auto-populate in Excel. And once that information auto-populates in Excel, then you'll be able to copy and paste the information from your existing database of reports to this report and then import the information as well. So this is very, very important. So now we have the screen opening up here. And I'm going to show it to you in just a second. It takes a little bit for my Excel file to open here. Okay, so let me close this. And then you're going to see this is a sample file here above. So notice it's very basic. You have the name of the person, the dollar amount, the date, and you have to keep it in this format. The fund ID number, you can skip that. Don't worry about that. The actual fund ID, so whatever that is. The user ID, again, you can keep that blank if you need to. Payment type, check number if it's a check, the bank name, and the transaction ID. And again, if you're missing something, when you import the file, then what will happen is we will show you that red that we just showed you. So let's do an example here. Let's import financial data, assuming you've downloaded the Excel template. Let's import the financial data. Here you go. Okay, let me make sure I'm selecting the right one. Here it is. And give the system a minute to import the file. Okay, so there you go. Now you can see I'm missing some transaction IDs here. These people that are marked with a check means that they are not in your database currently, but you can add them. If you don't want to add them to the database, you just want to add the financial data, you can uncheck them. But my advice is that you leave them checked so you can import them into the database. So once you do that, you do the same as before. If you want to change the transaction ID there, come here, apply it, changes all the transaction IDs. You know, the dates are all over the place, but let's say these are the right dates and in the right order, you leave that alone. You need to fix the fund ID and make sure you select the right thing to relate to each one. Again, you do that one at a time. And we do this just to make sure you're selecting the right funds and you're not, and obviously if I miss one there, I can tell, hey, this is still in red, so let's go back to it. And then once you do that, you click here to import the file. Then it takes you through another verification process just to make sure. Okay, you have all your information here. You've got the total. Everything looks good. You can cancel the import if you need to. Click here to finish importing the file. Okay, so everything has been added correctly. Let's go to View Details. View Details, you have the last import. Okay, and let me select Online here. Okay, so here you have the information. All right, so you have different things here. So this is very, very important. And what you want to make sure is that, actually that was a different one, I apologize. Date of import, I selected the wrong one. So you come here and now these are the ones that we just imported. Okay, so we corrected the transaction ID, the date. We didn't correct all of them because they were fine, but that gives you a simple way to get the information. So once again, the importance of getting your information and then viewing it to verify that it did import correctly is important. One thing I did forget, I'd like you to go to Donate Offline with me for just a minute. And then here, let's say a company gives you a check, okay? You can write them as a first name, or if there's a person that's not in your profile or not in your database, you can click on Other and you can just add them right here and just click on Add New Corporate User. Okay, so again, that's just the basic information. Later on, you definitely want to put in their address and information, etc. But that at least gives you the information that you need right now. So for this section, I think we've covered a lot. And again, you have all the information you need. And I think it's something that you can start doing right away to import your online donations and input your offline donations with just a few clicks of the mouse.